And this car comes by that recognizes me, stops, backs up, opens a door, and said, "Mr. President, you told us never to walk alone."
It's 2 days into the investigation of 3 young women who were brutally murdered, when some University of Florida students are unable to reach their friends.
They contact the maintenance man and ask him to check. The maintenance man opens the door, immediately sees a white female on the floor of the apartment. Law enforcement responds, and we find 2 college students, a male and a female, both slain in the apartment. They were able to identify Tracy Paules and Manny Taboada, 2 university students.
Manuel Manny Taboada was a high school football player. He had just graduated from community college and was starting his junior year in architecture at the university.
They had found Manny with defensive wounds on his arms and cast-off blood on ceiling and walls.
Tracy Paules was about to graduate and attend law school at the University of Florida. Both were just 23 years old.
Tracy was posed. She had received 5 stab wounds to her back. There was a glisten on her body that appeared to be some type of soap.
Tracy was discovered to have been pulled from her bedroom, dragged by her heels. There's a blood trail going from her bedroom down the hallway where she's just left, positioned similar to the other girls. Again, we had forced entry on a sliding door in the back. We had blood drippings in front of the sink as though the killer may have washed up at the sink.
The bodies brutally slain and then posed. It's the same killer's mark.
We knew that we were already dealing with a monster, but this was a very sick and demented individual that would not only perpetrate this kind of crime, but then set up this crime scene for its shock value.
Upon my arrival, I was allowed access into Gatorwood and walked into the scene. Tracy's body was still on the floor, slightly away from her room and Manny's room. Crime scenes are so different in terms of how the offender interacts with the victim and how they interact with the scene. It was clear pretty quickly that Manny was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and the offender found him and eliminated him quickly. Tracy was the intended victim of this offender. He spent a long time with Tracy, and I think that that was very fulfilling to the offender because he got to enjoy how traumatized she was waiting to die. He sexually battered her and stabbed her to death.
When Manny died, that just ratcheted up the anxiety so much more. Here's a big, strong, healthy guy. How could something happen to him? You are not safe, no matter who you are, no matter where you are.
I'm walking by myself, and the campus is deserted because everybody is staying in their rooms and people are being careful. And this car comes by that recognizes me, stops, backs up, opens a door, and said, "Mr. President, you told us never to walk alone. Get in the car." And they drove me home.